Have you ever wondered what it is like to visit the United States?
I was a little bit concerned about the security situation at the airport.
So I've been there many times.
When was your first time?
Maybe I was around 2 years old, 2
years
or
old.
3 years old.
Everything was happening on time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Discipline.
Seriously, even one day I was 1 minute late, and the whole my group was vanished.
So one of the highlights of the trip was the Superman ride.
How has the journey been post IVLP?
Yeah, my IVLP was NGO management, the work I was doing here in Pakistan.
This time around, maybe if I go, I'll spend some time taking a trip from the East Coast to the West Coast, drive around.
Road trip.
Yeah, a road trip maybe.
Have you ever wondered what it is like to visit the United States, study in the leading universities, immerse yourself in its vibrant culture, learn about the culinary and the landmarks? Well, what is a better way than to learn from the first-hand experiences of our Lincoln Corner contacts who have been to the United States through various US government-funded projects and programs? I'm Sana Munir. I'm the American Spaces Program Specialist, and I'm excited to bring this amazing podcast series, Beyond Borders, where we will explore unique perspective on America's excellence, but through the lens of Pakistani US alumni. You will live vicariously through their experiences and perhaps one day visit United States yourself. And we will also explore how these exchanges foster mutual collaboration. So let's dive into the first episode with two amazing alumni, Habil and Mudassir. Thank you so much for taking your time out and coming over here. How are you guys doing today?
All well, and thank you so much for having me on the show, Sana.
Perfect.
Thank you very much. It's a great opportunity to be here again. Thank you very much, Sana and US Embassy.
You're most welcome. Would you introduce yourself, where you work and what is your expertise, and also share which exchange program you went on and in which year?
Barrister Engineer Habil Ahmed Khan. I'm the CEO of WellConnect Private Limited. We specialize in large-scale infrastructure development, power, energy, and transmission distribution networks, engineering. So I'm basically an engineer. I specialize in simulation modeling and power systems from GIK. Then I did LLB honors from the University of London. I specialize in corporate law and European Union law. Then I did Bharat Law from Lincoln's Inn and BPP, executive education courses from the Harvard Business School and MIT. And I've done CFA Part 1 as well. I've been working in this sector for the last 16, 17 years. I worked as an honorary expert with NEPRA for 3 years. Have also worked in policy making and legislation in Pakistan.
So, how many times have you been to the US?
So I've been there many times.
When was your first time?
Maybe I was around 2 years old, 2 or 3 years old.
Do you remember United States when you were 2 years old?
I do have glimpses and memories of that time because I used to be cycling on the streets. I used to have this tricycle that I used to use and go outside. So I have those glimpses of the parks and the people that I used to play with, some children that I used to play with at that time.
Interesting. And what about you, Mudassir? Have you been to the US many times?
No, actually, I went on IVLP in 2024. I've been to European countries or different other countries, but that was my first time. So you asked that question, where I work and what you do. My name is Mohammed Mudassir, and I work as a CEO with the Shar Pakistan Society for Human Rights and Prisoners Aid. We have offices across Pakistan, and we facilitate refugees, asylum seekers, migration governance, human trafficking, and of course, capacity building of institutions like judiciary, public prosecutors, lawyers. And we have 18 offices, 400 staff members, 200 lawyers in our team. We have office in Kabul as well. We are a first contact point for anybody who enters legally or illegally to Pakistan and wants to seek asylum. Basically, I'm an anthropologist, and I love being connecting or knowing about different cultures. And I think that was a very wonderful experience to be in the US with this prestigious program. And I always cherish memories and brought so much learning from there. So which I'm translating into my communities and of course into my organization, especially related to leadership, strategic management, and coordination, multi-sector coordination here in Pakistan.
So it's really interesting how IVLP was the first experience to visit the United States, and you have been there many times. And I think we will have an amazing conversation on these two different perspectives. So for you, I have a question that, like, I have never been to the United States, and all I know about it is through Hollywood. I've seen so many movies, and there is a set perception in our mind about the country. What was your first impression when you landed? Was it like what you have imagined, or was it different?
Well, I mean, as I have been traveling since childhood, and but I've never been to America before. But my experience was because we used to see on the social media, and I used to interact with different people, and I was a little bit concerned about the security situation at the airport, what would happen, and like baggage and everything. But when we landed there, and the way we were given protocol, and liaisons were there to facilitate us, and they never checked anything. They were very soothing and smooth process, because the traveling was like 16 hours traveling.
It's just a long way from here.
That was quite a hassle. But when we landed at the airport, the team who received us was wonderful, and we never had any kind of hassle on the airport. That was amazing. From there on, when I was very confident to be there, and went around straight away. We had a COVID test, and then got engaged with other liaisons, and they briefed us about everything, about food, and that
Interesting.
was
Yeah. So I think my experience will be good as well, because we have so many things that we hear through news, but the actual experience is quite different. So what about you? Like over the years, have you seen the United States different? Like even each experience or visit that you go there, has it evolved in the past so many years?
So, to be honest, each trip and each visit is different, and you learn something new about the US, about the systems, about the governance, about the people, the civil society, the academic side. So there's a lot to learn in each trip, and it depends upon the focus that you have. So the IVLP program that I was a part of, we went for PPP, which is public-private partnerships and just infrastructure development, which is very close to the work that I do. And so in that program, we had an opportunity to meet a wide, cross-section of the society, the private sector, the public sector, the governance, or the kind of administration that they have. And it was good to learn about it. So I've had some very good experiences over the years.
So were you in this multiple cities, or did you visit, or was it like?
So we started from DC. We were there for about 5 days, I believe, and then we went up to Springfield, Massachusetts. Then from there we went to Chicago, and then from Chicago we ended the trip at Pittsburgh.
What about you?
Yeah, that was very interesting journey. We also started from Washington, D.C., then Virginia, then California, and then we went to Pennsylvania, and then we ended at New York.
So which city was the most different? Like which one gave you a cultural shock?
For me, I mean, cultural shock, New York, on the huge bus we had. I was entering, I've been to Washington, and then Pittsburgh. Everything was so neat and clean. And when we were entering there in New York, we saw like these Red Bull cans or Pepsi bottles on the road, and like all these things. And that was a bit, because we had stayed in a very clean, neat environment across the United States and other states. But when I was entering there, everybody noticed that, and that was just because there was so many like diversity, so many people from different countries, so they take a little bit easy about these kind of things. But as we gone into like different other sectors there, so it was wonderful to be there. The limelight, everything, the city was running 24/7, and the halal guys, famous food was everywhere. So the Statue of Liberty and everything was amazing here. People were amazing, and great experience. United Nations headquarters. We also visited that place. Then we had a chance to visit UN Women and other like organizations, Legal Momentum, and they were working same kind of. They were contributing the way we are contributing here in Pakistan. So that was great learning opportunity. We still keep in touch and seek guidance related to any strategic discussions or contributions. Yeah.
What about you?
For me, Sana, it was a bit different in the sense that there wasn't a cultural shock, but each city offered something different. So while I was in DC, I had an opportunity while the rest of the group was going to try out the brownies in one of the areas. I had an opportunity to go and watch Hamilton. And it was a wonderful play at the Kennedy Center. And the lady at the booth where I was supposed to buy the tickets, once I made an introduction, I told her I was here from the IVLP. She used to work for the US State Department. So she gave me the best seat in the house. I got a suite where I was right in the center of the theater watching the play, and it was just amazing. It changed my views on the US, the kind of history that we have read, but seeing the play gave me a different perspective of the society, the culture, the history, the way that the US was formed. So that was really nice. And then from there on, we went to, Springfield, Massachusetts. Over there, it's quite a quiet town. Or there's this contrast from Chicago or some of the bigger cities. And while we were there, we had an opportunity to learn more about the challenges and the problems that these towns are facing. The populations are going down. The job opportunities or activity economically is dying down, and there needs to be a push for these cities to then get back up on their feet. So we were learning about different things in these places and how the governments and the administrations are helping these towns and cities to thrive or come back up. And we, I believe, visited Six Flags while we were there. So one of the highlights of the trip was the Superman ride. So we all went together and we took the Superman ride over there at Six Flags.
That sounds like real fun.
But the most amazing part of the trip for me, and then in Chicago, of course, Chicago is Chicago, and we went to the Willis Tower. I then ended up having breakfast at one of my favorite places. The name is Lou Mitchell's, I believe, where all the US presidents go as well when they start their campaigning. So almost, I think, 4 or 5 ex-presidents or former presidents of the US have started their campaign from this cafe or diner.
Interesting.
And because it's from the same family, the same Italian family has been running it for many years, I think over 100 years. And so the food is really great. The food, the breakfast, the bread, everything that they make is homemade. So it's basically they are making everything there and then. So the taste is very, very unique. And but the ending of the trip at Pittsburgh for me was the highlight, because at Pittsburgh they have a lot to do with energy and power. So the US steel manufacturing, which is almost, I think, 40 or 45% of steel is being manufactured around that city. And because I come from an infrastructure development background, power and energy, to be there and see the environmental impact of the coal cake that they were using, or the kind of technology which was being used to then generate power for these plants, and the transition which was taking place in that city in terms of more of solar or wind or hydropower being explored. And in the future, there was an emphasis for environmental protection, and the quality of air index had to be improved because people were having a lot of issues. So for me, that was a highlight because it was very, very near to the work that I do. So for me, it was like Disneyland, being in Pittsburgh, exploring all of these options, seeing the way that tech was moving into the city. Like you have Silicon on the West Coast, on the East Coast or on the East side. They were changing the city into more to shift towards technology. So that was interesting.
I think you bring a really important point regarding the IVLP program, that you got to experience something that is probably very close to the work that you do, but also the need of the country that we live in. So were you able to implement all that you have learned in the past 3 and 4 years? And how has the journey been post IVLP?
It was a wonderful contrast to see the challenges that we have in Pakistan and the challenges that we see the US facing internally within its infrastructure. So the way that I had summarized or put everything together is that Pakistan has a challenge of developing its infrastructure and reaching out to our rural areas and connecting them to the cities and having the basic infrastructure. electricity, gas, your roads and networks that need to be linked, or railways that has to be built, or subways,
Or even
and train,
security of
or
the system.
security as
Yeah.
well, and education. So there's so much, and also with healthcare. So there's so much that needs to be done, and we need to expand our infrastructure to have an outreach. In the US, it's different. The infrastructure is aging. So there has to be a revamp of the systems in all the states across the US. So there's an aging infrastructure which needs to be then modernized or revamped. And so there are certain strengths that Pakistan has in terms of the latest developments that we have had, or the kind of developments that are taking place in Pakistan are quite modern, in the sense that we're developing the CPEC with China, or we have new trade deals with the Middle East, or now with the US as well, which is a very great development. And I hope and pray that we're able to build on that more, because there's huge opportunity for US companies to come in Pakistan and build these resources or develop these resources, and in which I see a win-win situation for everyone. So I believe that Pakistan, with its new techniques or legislation, could contribute to some of the challenges that we have seen in the US. And of course, the US companies can contribute to all the things which are going on in Pakistan. So I think there's a lot to learn and exchange. But some of the takeaways from those sessions were the way that PPP is used, or the way that private public partnership is supposed to be deployed. It's not easily understood. And sometimes in our country, we see this term being used for some very large projects, or for some projects where it's not viable. So it's like it's become a catchy phrase,
It's
or
like
a
academic
term,
phrase, and
yeah,
yeah.
which is just thrown around wherever, and then people get confused and start working around it. So being in the IVLP and seeing the PPP projects which were being developed in the US, in these municipalities, through the community and the private and civil sectors, coming together, and public sectors also then supporting them, it made sense for it to be at a more moderate level or smaller scale, where you can then divide risks and benefits between the different parties. When it becomes too large scale, it becomes difficult for you to do that, because there's so much capital involved, and then some of the risks and the rewards cannot be allocated easily, and that's where your projects get slowed down. So this was one of the takeaways from the session that we had over there, or the sessions that we had.
Very interesting. So about you, you have a very different IVLP.
Yeah, my IVLP was NGO management, the work I was doing here in Pakistan at a leadership position. And we had 24 people across the globe from different countries, from Norway,
Yes.
from Finland, from Africa, from like other countries.
I think that's very interesting how IVLP are designed, because it's not just one person or like the entire team from one country. It's different countries brought together so they can look at the actual topic and contribute. So, like you were saying that, yeah.
Yeah, they were like from different countries, 24 people. So everybody had diverse experience working in different sectors, especially in NGO management, non-profit, we call it in the US. And I would also reflect on my stay in Pittsburgh. That was wonderful, because I came to know that the whole US is being run by the non-profit organization, NGOs we call it here in Pakistan. And everywhere we went, the sessions were pretty much planned, and I still, we were wondering that how they can like assess through our applications or through our profiles. So everybody was thinking in among 24 people that this particular program is designed for me. So maybe I'm going to enhance my capacities, or make more networking through these kind of opportunities. So the program was very well designed. The people, the host, everywhere we went, and especially meeting with the first judge from California, Miss Cynthia, was great. She was a like black woman, and she shared her story as well, that I had issues when I was going to schools, but no, America is totally different. They have accepted this diversity, and I was making comparison with Pakistan. Pakistan has lots of other issues, but American strength, what I have seen there is their trust in their systems. Everybody, whoever the citizen is, whatever their backgrounds are, they have a great trust in their system, their efficient coordination among all the stakeholders, all the institutions. Then what I've seen is that the citizens of America, they are not just beneficiaries, they are contributors. Everybody took ownership what they were doing, and that's what they told us, how leaders can transform their communities and their community engagement, youth engagement, then women empowerment, and we have seen everything there. So it's very important if we really want to progress or want to be like one of the greatest country, being Pakistanis, we need to have our masses great trust in our system, and for that we need to
Build
like
that
build the
the
system
system. Yes.
that should be accountable, very transparent, and for the people who can also be contributor, and they have given all the rights to the people. People have sacrificed more in America because we studied American history than federalism lecture in Washington D.C. Professor Akram, he gave a wonderful presentation
He's
on the
wonderful.
federal.
Yeah,
Have you
wonderful.
seen?
Yeah, yeah, of
He
course.
is Akram
Amazing.
Ilyas.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
from Ilyas as
I
well.
mean, he would go like that. Hello, yeah, this and that. Everybody
Yeah, he
like,
did.
yeah, he was like, all of a
It
sudden,
brings a lot of
Bring
energy to the
energy
room.
big
to the
personality.
yeah. And that guy changed our perspective, and then we visited Capitol Hill. Whatever we were like experience in our sessions or engagements, we were practically looking at different buildings. We were and that was wonderful experience to be there in State Department where everything was organized. See, whenever I come to U.S. Embassy here in Pakistan, I see the same system. You come on the main gate, you are like brought with the
It's
kind of
proper process in place.
process. If you go to any of the place, that's how they acknowledge or
Manage everything.
manage everything, and of course they give the warm welcome to their guest, going all the way, bringing them down, then leaving them at the main gate. That was happening everywhere. So that's amazing that if we can build those.
Really amazingly summed up American excellence and the values that they have, which are across the entire nation. And that's probably why they're the leading country in the globe. So, is there any particular value that you noticed during your visits, multiple visits, that you think is something that we can have in Pakistan? If it is in Pakistan, it would really transform us as a nation as well.
So I believe there are 2 or 3 things which I would like to talk about on this subject. But the first that comes to my mind is that from the US, if we were to learn anything, it's to have an open society. Be open and speak your mind and do what you are really, passionate about. And having that can have a long-term, beneficial impact for your society or for your people because they're doing what they love and they're talking about it. So if you have more openness and everyone can, in a way, mind their own business while also contributing. So these are certain values that you get. And by and large, it's a society based on truth. So everyone is doing what they think is their truth and they're focused on that. So I believe we would need that more in Pakistan and hopefully in the coming years with more education, with more institutes being set up. Pakistan. So I do find a lot of similarities between Pakistanis and the US Americans as well. So, which is that we're also quite open and bold in the way that we think. If you were to look at our, media houses or the way that media is being run in this country, having almost about 60, 70, channels, almost 30 news channels, and every day from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. having talk shows, people are coming and saying whatever is on their mind.
Or on social media.
Yeah, without filter. So in many ways, we're quite similar as well. And one of the cultural shocks that you asked me earlier, something came to my mind, was that when we got on our buses and we were going from one city to the other, we had to take flights for some of the cities. But for one of our travels, we were on the bus and the speed limit was 60 miles per hour, 60 or 70. That was a bit of a shock for me because we're used to driving at 120, or in
Yes.
Europe on the autobahns, you don't have speed limits and for certain sections. And so being at 60 miles per hour or maybe 70, that was a bit surprising for me, because I expected that the
It would be much faster.
highways would be
Yeah.
faster.
Yeah.
But then, because they were built at such an earlier stage,
Ah.
at that time,
Mhm.
60 or 70 was the best speed to go at, or the optimal speed to then travel at. So I believe that these are some of the things where we could contribute as well. Pakistan having built some modern infrastructure, whatever we have been able to build has been built quite, just recently.
That's true. Yes.
So we have that advantage of being more modern in the projects that we have built, but we still need to do a lot of work.
Lot of work.
And scalability is something else that you find in the US, and it's quite challenging in Pakistan. So if you have an idea, or if there's a business that you can run, you can scale it quite big, or you can take it quite large, because you can replicate that model or success in different states. But in Pakistan, with every project, with every business that you're doing, each outlet, each store, each restaurant is going to be a different challenge.
Yeah. Probably
Because-
one-time venture,
Yeah.
and then just ends.
And it takes a lifetime for you to scale. Maybe one generation will do the hard work, and then
Yes.
the second one will be able to take it slightly higher. So in terms of scalability or access to capital, your financial institutions, your banks, that's where we need to learn a lot. We need
That's
to
true.
learn a lot.
I would also like to reflect on a couple of things my colleague has said, like culture shock. Everything was happening on time.
Yes. Discipline.
Even one day I was 1 minute late, and the whole my group was vanished. I thought, where's the bus gone and everything? But I mean, even coffee breaks, sessions, if we had meetings, exactly at that time, buses, everything was happening in time. That was big. In Pakistan, we can always make them
Yeah,
for
you
a couple
find
of
that in
minutes
most
late.
parts of the world, except Pakistan.
Yeah.
Pakistan being an exception where
Fashionably late is a thing.
it's very late. Yeah, or we are just late by 15 minutes at least.
Yeah.
So it's something which is different. But in most parts of the world, the developed parts,
Yes.
you'll find that people value time
Yeah,
and
well,
cherish time, and they will give you the respect for your time, and they will also respect their time. So if you're late, you're late.
Yeah. And secondly, I mean, as my colleague mentioned earlier about this cultural shock, and the other thing, what Americans and Pakistan share similar things. There are so many similar things. I would have said the same thing, openness about the society. They are very confident, and their systems has given them confidence to be truthful in every way in life about relationships. And second thing, I would talk about Pakistan and American similarities, and that's their kind hospitality. In Pakistan, people are very hospitable. And if you go to America, the people are very hospitable, very warm, and very welcoming, and very accommodating. Wherever we went, and when we introduced ourselves with the term IVLP, everybody was so they felt proud that these are people who are contributing positively in their own countries. That's why they are here. So they always looked up to us with the pride that but I remember exchanging during discussions, one of American colleague from State Department said, what we feel, the only thing we feel jealous about is IVLP, because we can't be IVLP. So it's a great, prestigious award for anybody who can learn from there and reflect or translate all these learning into their own countries, and can be a great ambassador for future connections. And I see so many opportunities when I talk about America and Pakistan, humanitarian work, migration, DRL, human rights related, democracy, governance. And that's what we are engaging with them on these topics, because Pakistan facing these kind of issues. And we are very grateful again for this opportunity. And I think we have been a regular visitor to your different programs.
Yes,
and we have
yes.
been,
No, I mean, that is a really great. You both have been our Lincoln Corner contacts, and we have seen how you're contributing to Pakistan and its progress. And I think that was the purpose of IVLP, so that you can go and learn what US excellence is in those topics and then bring it back and then contribute to the society here. So that is great to know. So regarding the Lincoln Corners, you have seen the information resource centers that we have, which are beyond just a library. There are places where people can come and learn on various topics, and it's a free space where they can feel safe to talk about different topics. So in the United States, did you get an opportunity to visit libraries, or did you see any familiarities between Lincoln Corners and the American cultural spaces over there?
Yeah, we did actually. I believe in Springfield, Massachusetts, we did visit a library. And it was very nice to see that it was being run by the community and it was open for everyone. And they had certain programs for funding, which again is quite different to how we fund such libraries or such institutions in Pakistan, because the budget is so, limited. It's very difficult for us to establish such, institutes or facilities. But I believe that there should be a kind of Lincoln, corner in every place or every town of Pakistan. We should have such, such facilities everywhere or libraries everywhere. And I do also, recall that we went to quite a few universities. One of the most interesting sessions that we had was at the DePaul University in Chicago for management. And one of the questions that I had in my mind throughout the IVLP and throughout the sessions that we were having was about how the infrastructure was crumbling in the US, and you see the wave of AI and IT and these apps, and you see other countries who are challenging or even have gone further, or maybe they are more advanced in these sectors. My question was that how did the US maybe miss that wave of technology or development which was taking place throughout the world? And how is it that the infrastructure has just lagged behind some of the other countries? If you go to some of the other countries, you'll find much modern infrastructure. And so I got the best answer at DePaul University, which was that most of the last 3 or 4 decades since the .com revolution came, the focus of the society has shifted towards software and apps and IT and websites and all web-based applications. So no one is, just really focused on the hardcore engineering,
Right.
or large-scale infrastructure, or bridges, or trains, or roads or highways. And that is one of the things that when you hear what the incumbent president, Trump, we were staying in Chicago just opposite his towers. So I would see the Trump towers every day that we would walk out of the building, which was quite nice, to be honest. It's a nice, beautiful building. And one of the things that he keeps saying is that we want to make the US
America
great again.
Yes.
And that's where it comes from, because you see this infrastructure, you see the opportunity, you see the challenge. And because the last 3-4 decades were focused on so much of IT and software and Silicon Valley and these apps and everything, the hardcore engineering sectors have suffered. And that's where there is an opportunity. I believe that now that the US administration is also focused on that, with Pakistan, with our resources, immense wealth in rare, earth minerals, with energy resources, oil and gas, with wind, solar, hydropower, we have a huge coast that we can also utilize for trade. I see there's so much of synergy that we can achieve between the countries, especially in terms of our legislation as well. So there's some wonderful legislation that has taken place, but we lack in execution. We have some good policies in place. When I was talking during my sessions in the IVLP, in many sessions, the audiences or our counterparts were just amazed by the fact that we have such policies or legislations in place in Pakistan for EVs, for renewable energy, for sustainable development, for ESG, so on and so forth. But where we lack is our execution skills, or having more consistent forms through which we can administer change. Because there's so much of change taking place, it becomes difficult for the business community as well to contribute. So
That's true.
this is this is how.
That's an interesting perspective. So going back to your point where you mentioned that you went to the restaurant and
Lou Mitchell's.
yes, so
Diner.
that made me think you probably had a bucket list in place when you were going to
Lou
the
Mitchell's
US.
is actually my favorite place. I've been there a few times because of one of my other projects that we were doing earlier. I traveled to Chicago a few times, and someone told me to go and check it out, and it was wonderful. It was amazing. And one of their managers, her name is Donna. I think she's more than 100 years old.
Oh,
She's still there, and it was wonderful to see her.
institutional memory right
Yeah,
there.
so she must be in her 90s or at least over 100 maybe. I'm not sure, but I do have some pictures with her as well, and she shared some wonderful stories about the time when she met with the previous presidents and served them. So it was wonderful. It was a good experience to sit with her.
Yeah, that's interesting to know. So speaking of the bucket list, what do you think are the must do's while you visit the United States as a first time visitor?
With my experience, I would say have a pair of shoes,
Don't forget a
jeans
good
or
comfortable
anything, or
pair of
any,
shoes.
not
Yes.
too many clothes, because when you go there, just because the environment and you don't like these clothes you wear in Pakistan
Too
most
formal?
of the
I don't-
time, yeah. And you would have like every kind of shops. Because I had a small bag when I went there, and with the passage of time, I used to go to the market, find
And shop
places,
there.
and shop here. Because you don't feel comfortable with these. Even they can't आपकी सर्दी भी नहीं रोक सकते हैं. They are like that. If you really want to go there and want to buy, don't make like 2-3 bags, or have a very minimum luggage when you're traveling to the US. You can buy so many cheaper things, or whatever your wallet gave you permission, you can have all these things. So I would appreciate everybody who goes there have couple of pair of shoes, or maybe one like professional dressing, or it depends like if you're going to holidays or if you're going for what. So I think weather is very different
yeah.
every state here. So, and one thing, home hospitality, we in Pittsburgh was a wonderful experience, because from where we could understand that American people have a great concept of neighborhood, community neighborhood, and they are very kind and hospitable, and we exchange gifts. We went there for 1 hour, and we spent almost 4 hours there, and our liaisons were like very upset that why we disappeared, what happened to us. But the
Conversation
gentleman,
was so good.
yeah, and he said, I mean, I'm going to drop them off to the hotel, and he did the same. And
I think you bring a really important point there, is to build connections and friendships while visiting the US. So, as like for the youth who will be listening into this video, what would you recommend how they should network, they should make friends?
So now one of the things that my colleague just mentioned about having a small bag, I'll add that you must keep a shirt with Marvel heroes or Superman in case you end up in Six Flags and you take a ride.
Right.
So I kept one Superman shirt with me, and not knowing that we would go to Six Flags, but throughout the sessions, throughout those 3-4 weeks, I was always suited the way that I am because that's how I do dress. And for the day that we were going to Six Flags, I had the Superman shirt on, and my colleagues were just shocked. They're like, "Who just came out of the hotel right now?" But yes, it was fun. So keep one shirt in case you end up in Six Flags or some of these theme parks
parks,
to
yes.
have fun.
Interesting.
And for that cultural exchange that I had with, so we met someone who was a high school teacher who had been teaching at that school, and it had been converted into a sort of residential building. It was a school before, and it was then turned into a residential building, and he was living there. He was surprised by the fact, or when we started, we sat down and we started talking, and we had dinner. He was surprised by the fact of how much Pakistanis give respect to the elders. So he was actually living there by himself in his 60s or 70s, I believe around 70s. And we were around 3 or 4 people having dinner at his place, and we helped him with the plates. We were helping him in setting up things or picking up things, and because he was elder, we gave him that respect. And he was a bit surprised. He was like, "Why are you guys doing this?" And said, "This is how we are in Pakistan. So for us, if you're elder in age, from our culture and from our religion, we're supposed to help you." And so that was nice. We had a good session with him.
Interesting. So I'm going to ask quick rapid fire questions so that we can wrap it up quickly. What was your favorite food that you tried in the United States?
Well, the halal guys
Halal
in
guys,
India,
okay.
there was, I mean,
In New York, right?
available, yeah, everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. Many things I like, but halal guys, that was really wonderful. Most of the Americans, they hardly like have time to cook at their homes. Maybe, but most of the time would like go in the morning for work, grab a coffee and any like breakfast. And the other thing, everybody was talking about beagle, the American beagle.
Beagle?
Bagels, maybe?
Bagels.
Yeah, maybe bagels.
Bagels,
Yeah.
everybody was talking about
yeah.
that, and our liaison told me to go and try that, but that was a bit hard for me. Yeah, but I really enjoyed everything. Food was very fresh, fruits. And one thing was also that every hotel we went, they told we are on the second floor, and there would be a ice room on the second floor or third floor. So I was surprised why they telling me ice room, because Americans love ice. If there is a snowing outside, and people would be grabbing like a big glass with the filled with ice or iced tea, and there ice is very popular in
Popular there.
America, even though it's cold outside. And even I asked
On
one
every
of my
floor of the hotel, you can find ice.
ice, yeah, ice room, big ice room.
Which is your favorite American dish?
So the thing is, I was actually thinking when he was giving his answer, and I believe there's so much of American food that we are consuming in Pakistan every day.
That's more
Yeah.
like a fast food, but it was
Yeah, the
like an
fast food
actual
and
cuisine
so,
that you tried there.
I tried their deep dish pizzas in Chicago, which are very famous. They have a lot of stuffing of cheese and toppings and
Okay,
everything.
now you're making me hungry.
So they're quite deep dish and thick, the way that Pakistanis like them as well. They're not
yeah.
thin, the way like you find them in Europe or maybe in Italy. So that was fun. That was nice. And then again, I feel that there's already so much of American food that we do consume in Pakistan. The steaks, the way that we eat them, the burgers, the pizzas, Subway, the donuts, the coffee that we take. So there's a lot of American franchises operating in Pakistan,
Yes,
which we're
that is
used to.
true.
So, and then apart from that, one of the days I did celebrate something. There was something I was doing, some work back home, and I got a call that something had happened, which was good. So I celebrated by having more of Indian food over there. Pakistani Indian food.
Yeah.
I found a restaurant which was near to the hotel behind the Trump Towers in Chicago. It was quite expensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was the
Pakistani
food worth
is
it?
very
Yes, that was
expensive.
very expensive.
Was it
You know,
good?
when you are in a foreign country, in America or any European country, you don't want to like try their own traditional dishes. You just talk about, or you're looking for the places where you can have rotis or traditional
Pakistani
Pakistani
food.
food. That's what. At one place, I found pakoras and naan, and I really enjoyed eating them because we were eating so many other things like their regular food. So it's always good. Yeah.
I believe in the second week or third week, I found this restaurant. Yeah, but it's very expensive.
Yes.
So it's like a sort of luxury that you have. If you
Oh.
want to find food from Pakistan,
It's
you'll
probably
have to pay
the
a
only
premium for it. Yeah.
restaurant there, Pakistani or in that area.
True.
Yeah.
And one thing I would also like to reflect on, Americans are very sensitive about religions. We had liaisons, we had different people from diverse backgrounds, and we were four guys from Muslim countries. So there was a holy month of Ramadan going on, started
During your
our-
IVLP.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I liaisons were very much concerned that if we need anywhere we went, they used to carry a prayer mat for us. And during the session or before the sessions or our engagement, they would come to us and they will briefly tell us in that second room or first room or third room, you can go and like there is a prayer mat for you, and you can go and pray, especially for Friday prayers. And they specially arranged. They had to change the schedule so that we are able to offer our prayer. So that's what I've seen, that they used to remind us every time, though we were like not that practically following, like offering 5 time namaz, but I mean,
But they were reminding you.
Yeah, reminding you every time
Right.
that, yeah.
It shows that they
really,
were so
very
welcoming.
much respect for other cultures, other values, or religions. That's their main strength as well. The acceptability of different nations, different cultures. That's the strongest point I see whenever I think about my stay or interacting with even in your receptions or dinners. They always take care of all these
Yes.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. So one final question before we wrap up. If you are to travel again, I hope you do, what is on your bucket list that you would definitely do this time around that you have missed the previous on the previous visits? He would have a lot because he has only visited once.
So I've done a lot on my own, but this time around, maybe if I go, I'll spend some time taking a trip from the East Coast to the West Coast, drive around.
Road trip.
Yeah, a road trip maybe. Going through
Once in a
different states.
lifetime.
Yeah, once in a lifetime. So maybe I'll do that because all the other things I've already ticked off.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I would like to see your bucket list. It's going to be really long. What about you?
So many things on my list because I missed meeting so many people.
Yes.
There were so many friends. Most of the time, we were had a very busy schedule. We were unable to meet, and a few of my friends came drive for 4-5 hours to have a lunch or dinner together. So. If I go, I had a chance to extend my stay for 1 month, but just because of my overly busy schedule here in Pakistan, I couldn't
Had
do
to
that
return.
just because of my work. And I plan to meet different friends who are teaching in different universities, doing businesses in different states. So that's what I do, and they have so many other plans to go to different areas and places. So I would prefer to go and have more fun with my friends or my family members there, and so that I can have a more, because America is massive. That's why people are very open-hearted and very big and welcoming, just because of that's what I was discussing with Ms. Sana earlier on, that they're a huge country. That's a huge country. People are doing whatever they want. They are proper put in a system which is very transparent and accountable, and they're enjoying their lives.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm sure the viewers will have a lot to learn, not just about your work and what you learned from IVLP as a program itself, but also the values and culture of the United States. Thank you.
Sana, at the end, I would also like to thank you, the US Embassy, the staff, the teams who helped us go there or organized our trips, especially Zerka. She was very active. She was in touch with us throughout and also helped us with small issues at the airport or wherever we were going. And then the teams in DC, the way that the State Department took care of us over there, it was wonderful. We didn't feel alone or away for a second even. Every day, every minute was scheduled and planned in the best way. So a big thanks to the teams around the US and also in Pakistan.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much again. I would say same things. I'm very grateful for this great opportunity from the U.S. Embassy in Pakistan, and of course all the institutions, especially our liaisons or all the hosts in America, because and all the colleagues who were part of this prestigious award, and we still keep in touch, and they are doing wonderful work. And this is a great chance to get globally connected with each and everybody who was part of this program. So that's my message for everybody here in Pakistan who are planning to go to the US or maybe for education or for any reason. You are also going soon.
Yes.
We wish you all the best as well. Thank you very much.
I have got some-
Sana, wish you all the best with your trip as well.
Yes, I've got a lot of tips.
You're going
from
for
you
the
guys.
IBLP or you're
No, I'm going for my training.
Okay.
Yes. So, but I also have a annual leave built into it, so I will travel around.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. It's amazing. And with these, programs, exchanges, you get to meet people who are in similar stages in their career from all over the world. And you can learn so much from each other
Yes.
and contribute to each other's careers and thoughts and the processes through which you're trying to solve problems.
Right. Thank you so much. The conversation does not end here. We'll be back soon with a new episode, a new host, more inspiring alumni, and their new fresh perspective about their visits to the United States. Stay tuned. And for more informational videos, please visit our website at lincolncornerspakistan.com. And do not forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. See you in the next one.